And welcome live inside the historic Nationwide Arena in downtown Columbus, Ohio. Troy, Ohio TV proudly presents Ohio High School Athletic Association varsity hockey between the Troy Trojans and the Worthington Kilborne Wolves. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. A Sunday afternoon affair on the Nationwide Arena ice surface, home of the NHL's Columbus Blue Jackets, as the Trojans special invitation on behalf of the Worthington Kilborne Wolves to play this exhibition game between these two hockey clubs tonight. Again, I'm JT Zabo, glad to have everybody along for the ride in what's sure to be an excellent affair of hockey tonight from Nationwide Arena. The Trojans, fresh off that game last night against Alter, where they unfortunately picked up a league regulation loss at the third period, a 3-2 deficit against the Alter Knights last night. They're trying to avenge that with a win tonight here on the road against the Worthington Kilborne Wolves, as the fans inside the Nationwide Arena continue to file in. Of course, the 18,000-seat arena, usually home of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Today it is playing host to the Troy Trojans. As we get set to go, we're bringing a special feed live on YouTube. We are on delay on Facebook due to network limitations. We will have the game on demand on Facebook starting this afternoon, but we are coming to you live on YouTube as our officials down at ice level get set to start the starting line combination for the Trojans in their road red uniforms, as Gavin Burris will center Eli Wenning and Cameron Lombardo to start this hockey game. As it's played around the Dashers, picked back up, out they come to neutral ice as the Wolves will work it inside Trojan territory. Laid out from the trapezoid. Of course, this an NHL regulation ice surface, 200 feet by 85 feet. And the Trojans certainly getting the feel for the larger ice surface than what they're used to at Hobart with this afternoon matinee game, as the puck is kept inside the Trojans' end by the Wolves. They'll work it back down low. Played again, back out to center ice as it'll meander its way across. Here's a headman pass all the way back inside Trojan territory. Back to play it as Colin Berghardt plays it against the Dashers. Still with it. Finally picked back up by the Wolves. They'll force it back to the point. With a head of steam down low. In between the blue paint wasn't enough, and the Trojans will work this out to neutral ice and continue to pressure down low off the hit. Playing it again. They'll force it ahead. And out to neutral ice once again, as that one's going to be chipped in by the Trojans, forced back inside the Worthington Kilborne zone before this one clears ahead out to center ice, and right back in it goes as they'll regroup out from behind their own net. One touch pass, Walton couldn't get it. Trojans are able to hold on at the line before they force it back into the far corner. Head of steam on this outlet pass, intercepted at the line by Condi. He'll force it back down low into the near corner, and they'll play it back on the half boards before they regroup out from behind the net. 12:52 to go here in the opening period of this exhibition game between the Worthington Kilborne Wolves and the Troy Trojans. They'll work it ahead, back inside Troy territory, paddling forward along the boards with a head of steam on this breakout attempt. At the line and across. Lost in front of the benches, and a fast break the other way will send this puck all the way back inside Trojan territory. They'll play it, one-touch pass. Nobody was there. Finally scooped back up and brought out to center. So they'll force this one ahead. Off the side of the cage, rebound. Kick back into the corner. They'll play it along the boards. Still battling there. Finally scooped up by the Wolves. Off this bounce pass. Still playing in the neutral zone. 12:02 to go in the opening period. Still scoreless if you're just joining us from Nationwide Arena in downtown Columbus. Special presentation of Troy, Ohio TV tonight as this one brought ahead. Played inside the Trojans' end. Here's Abbott, a drive, tried to pick the corner. Nobody was there. Rebound, scooped up by the Trojans, and out to center it goes. Rebound in front of the benches. Wholesale changes for both clubs as this one's going to be signaled for icing but waved off at the last moment. Played out by Carver out from behind his own net, starting between the wickets for the Trojans tonight on this breakout attempt. Stymied at the line, picked back up, this time by the Wolves, and they'll force that one back inside the Trojans' half boards where it's played by Condi. 11-12 and counting. Gabby Paff gets that one ahead. We'll hear from her during the intermission as this one is going to be whistled from behind the play, and it looks like it may be a too many men on the ice penalty with 10:58 to go. And indeed, that's exactly what we're going to get. Referee Tyler Johnston with the call. Too many men on the ice, so we'll keep the face-off at center ice. Trying to figure out exactly who they're going to put into the box. And it looks like it's going to be against Worthington Kilborne. And the Trojans will go up on the first power play of the game. 10:28 and counting. As right from the draw. Played by Sexton, quickly around the Dashers. They'll work it ahead. Now on this breakout attempt. On the penalty kill. Gets it inside the Trojan zone. Carver makes the save. Rebound. Picked up by Burris. He'll stretch it ahead out through center ice, but it's intercepted by the Wolves, and right back the other way they go. With a head of steam, side of the cage, knocked away at the last second. Rebound with the bouncing puck will chip up, but not out as a high shot tipped up into the mesh. And that is enough to stop the clock now with 9:47 to go. And the faceoff should remain inside the Trojan zone. 1:10 remaining on that. Too many men on the ice penalty. And off this draw, won cleanly by the Trojans. Around the Dashers. Back out to center ice as that one will be carried by the Wolves in front of their own net. Nearly misplayed it. And good headman pressure there. Smith lost a stick in the process. As they'll play it on the blue line, still trying to control the puck. Down low, Trojans with the man advantage. Send it out to behind the net, off the side of the cage. And they're going to try and whack it free and finally do as the bouncing puck works its way back to the corner as Burris back to the point. Here's a shot high off the end boards, rebound to the near wing. Played out and just a relief valve icing attempt by the Wolves will send it 200 feet the other way. This one picked back up by the Trojans on this breakout attempt to center ice. Wholesale changes for both clubs. They'll work it around, still trying to control. Battling along the Dashers, the Trojans will clear it inside the zone. In front of the Zamboni benches, both teams will finish their line change. As they'll get it off the Dashers, still trying to control. Under lots of pressure as we return to full strength, this icing will be signaled and will be the call now with 8:07 to go in a scoreless first period. The faceoff will come back inside the Worthington Kilborne zone. Again, with the exhibition nature of this hockey game, playing under a running clock situation today. Of course, both teams will be invited back later this afternoon for the Columbus Blue Jackets versus LA Kings game. And so some excellent team bonding opportunities right there for both of these hockey clubs in one of the palaces at the highest levels of the game. They'll work it back inside the Trojans end. That one just wide of Carver. He goes tumbling inside his own crease. Incidental contact goes uncalled as they'll play it off the side of the cage and around the Dashers. Now on the half boards on this breakout attempt, but held in again by Todd. For the Kilborne Wolves, there's a shot across the crease. Right back into the far corner. Gets it back to the point, intercepted by Luke Harris. Now he's got a fast breakout through center. Here's Harris all alone before he gets stymied back into the corner with a little bit of help. 6:55 and counting here as they'll work it on the half boards. There's Sexton right back now for Harris. Had a little help from Smith getting it back at the point before it's cleared out to neutral ice, and here they come back the other way. No call on that play as they'll work it just wide of Carver. He made the save. Getting it back down low off the half boards now on this breakout attempt for the Trojans, and out they come. Stopped in the neutral zone again at the tail end of his shift. They'll work it back before it's picked up, this time by the captain, momentarily before it's thrown back inside the Trojans' corner. Played by Carver, side of the cage. Works it back into the near corner. Still trying to control that one down low out of the trapezoid. Trojans trying to get a little bit of offense going as Smith couldn't get it, but Carver can, and he'll wisely hold on to stop the clock now with under 6 minutes to go here in the scoreless first period. If you're just joining us here on Troy, Ohio TV, glad to have everybody along for the ride with this special presentation as the face-off inside the Trojans' end finally makes it out to center ice. Scooped up this time as they'll force it and curl off top of the circle. Give and go. There's a shot by James. Bounces puck, and he scores. First goal of the game, a bouncing puck that looked like it had eyeballs. And just like that, it's a 1-0 Worthington Kilborne hockey game. And it didn't look like goaltender Noah Carver knew where that one was, as it may have beaten him 5-hole. 1-0, the home team in the lead. An even strength goal as the Trojans will force that one deep inside the zone. Played at neutral ice in front of the penalty box. Troy will force that one deep inside the zone. Giving chase is Walton for the Kilborne Wolves. Back out to neutral ice. Stretch pass in front of the benches. Finally dumped inside the Worthington Kilborne end, out from behind the net. This one's going to be picked up by Lombardo. A shot, high angle, off the side glass. And now here come the Wolves out to neutral ice before it's intercepted at the red stripe, and they'll force it right back inside their own zone. Under pressure against the Dashers, working it deep inside the Trojan zone. There's a shot turned aside by Carver. He got a brief piece of it before it works its way back into the corner, and he'll go sliding across the crease again as it works into the near corner. Bouncing puck against the Dashers, finally picked up as they'll play it in front of the penalty box, directly in front of our broadcast view before it gets deep inside the Trojans end once again, and we have a delayed penalty coming against Troy. It's going to be a tripping call with 3:32 to go, and the Wolves will have their first man advantage of the hockey game. And the face-off will remain inside the Trojans' end. As the Wolves will get fresh legs out on the ice. 3:07 to go here in this first period. 1-0 Kilborne early off a bouncing puck just past Noah Carver. That one held on the half boards. He'll work it around the Dashers. Still one touch pass to the near side, top of the corner, or he'll send that one again. Della playing a shot. That one knocked away at the last second. He'll hold it in at the point before he'll go back in. High cycle now. Spelsman sends it to the half boards. This one right back into the slot. Playing it wide. There's a shot. Hit off the official down low. Play continues out of the corner. Walking in. Poked away by Carver. And the Trojans are able to clear 200 feet the other way. Fresh legs for both teams on this breakout attempt. The Trojans pressuring inside the Kilborne zone. working it back inside the zone. Playing it up the near wing. There's a Tide shot. Big hit behind the bench. As they'll walk out. In between the circles, scooped up by Smith, and he'll quickly ice it 200 feet the other way as the bouncing puck played on the side of the cage, and now on this breakout attempt for the Wolves. One-touch pass inside the Trojans' end. They'll work it down low, out from behind the trapezoid. Still holding on to the puck. That one just at the line and held in somehow as offside ruled off by the back officials. They'll play it deep into the near wing corner. Icing all the way down now with 1:23. Waved off again as it's played by the goaltender out from behind his own trapezoid. Here's a long stretch pass. Bouncing puck picked back up by Sexton inside of his own zone before he'll send it rink wide once again with 1:08 to go, and we return to full strength. Kilborne kills off their penalty. This play continues inside the Trojans' end. There's Caparella, plays it back into the far side, up the boards, but not out, and finally that one's going to hop over the bench to stop the clock with 47 seconds to go. And we'll get a fresh biscuit out. Now coming up here in the intermission, we'll go downstairs for a special chat with three freshmen. A freshman, a junior, and a sophomore for this hockey club coming up here in the intermission. You will want to stick around for that, but right now with 24 seconds to go, face off. Here in this first period, Trojans facing that 1-goal deficit as they'll work it just inside the Wolves zone and shot right on. Played again. Out to neutral ice, and now 2-on-1 the other way. Here's the pass across. Was a bit too rich for him, couldn't get much on it. And as the horn blows to end the first period, we have a cross-checking penalty being assessed from behind the play. And so we'll have to see who exactly gets that one. And it looks like it will go against the Trojans. And so just like that, we've got another break in the action here as we bring you live hockey from the Nationwide Arena. We'll be back after this on Troy, Ohio TV. And welcome back inside Nationwide Arena. JT Zabel rejoining you here for second period action as the Trojans facing an early 1-goal deficit to the Worthington Kilborne Wolves, who skate inside the Trojans' end. Carver the save initially, but the rebound was able to beat him 5-hole. And just like that, it's a 2-0 hockey game, as it was the trailer in the slot that was able to connect with the second rebound attempt. 5-hole pass, Noah Carver. And just about 30 seconds into the period, we're down 2-0. And so just like that, the Trojans facing that famous 2-goal deficit, the most dangerous lead in hockey, at least if you're considering the Worthington Kilborne Wolves tonight as the Trojans will work that one all the way down, and an icing call will stop the clock now with 13:45 and counting. And the faceoff will come all the way back down inside the Trojans' end. And that's in the history of the program, this is the first time the Trojans have played here on the main ice surface at Nationwide Arena. Of course, this another goal there, as they were able to beat Noah Carver to make it 3-0. Great part of this exhibition game, the head coach Rick Szabo realized the opportunity here for a lot of the players growing up watching the Blue Jackets and watching hockey out of this building, and is doing everything he can to make sure that all players are going to get an opportunity to play today on the big ice surface. You can see head coach Rick Szabo right there. It's also the home of the OHSAA state tournament. And so the goal of every high school program in Ohio is to be able to play on this ice surface come March. But the Trojans getting an opportunity to do it here for the first time in program history, as they'll work it off a big hit right there, and picked up by the Wolves. Give and go, top of the circle, skates in. That one just wide of the cage. There's a shot, turned aside by Carver. Rebound attempt in top corner, beating Carver glove side. And he had plenty of time to turn and make that shot, untouched by the defensive core. 12 minutes even to go here in the second period of this exhibition game, and the Trojans now facing a 4-goal deficit. And the faceoff will come back to center ice. Again, we talked coming up here after the second period. We'll go downstairs to hear some thoughts from a couple Trojans who grew up watching hockey into this building, and how special it is to have the opportunity to skate here. Essentially a rink of dreams situation. And we do thank the Columbus Blue Jackets organization for helping make this possible, as well as Worthington Kilborne, as here they come striking inside the Trojans' end. Makes it out to center ice. We'll force this wide in front of the benches. Chipped against the dasher. Here come the Wolves posting up on the half boards. They'll send it back to the corner. Holding it in at the line. This one intercepted. For it's again kept in and fired deep inside the Trojans' end. We'll play this one around. Out of the trapezoid, now on the near corner. And for that one, squirts out to neutral ice. 10 minutes and 34 seconds to go here in this second period. Trojans facing a 4-0 Wolves lead from Nationwide Arena. On this breakout attempt for the Wolves. Out to center ice they go. Sexton had some help there on the forecheck. Was able to create some traffic down low for Ian Francis Knott, who plays it out of the corner. Sends it back, tipped up. Intercepted by Campbell briefly before it's picked back up, and offsides will be the call. And that stops the clock with under 10 minutes now to go here in the second period as we approach the midway mark of the hockey game. Again, both clubs will be treated to the Jackets and Kings game later on this afternoon. As special guests of the Columbus Blue Jackets organization, we certainly thank them, as well as we thank them for the locker room tour that both teams were able to participate in. As here's Cooper Sexton, a drive off the high glass, as the Trojans players getting a chance to go inside the Blue Jackets locker room earlier this morning prior to getting into uniform. And we thank the Blue Jackets for being such gracious hosts here for this special opportunity for the student athletes on both teams. As it clears back out to center ice. A good handful of fans and parents made the trip to Columbus. A lot of Troy sweaters here as well today in support of the Trojans. And this opportunity to skate here at Nationwide Arena. 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the second period as they'll work it up the wing with a head of steam. There's Brady Smith tried to pick the corner. That one just high off the high glass. As Sexton picks up the loose puck back into the far corner. Still with the puck out of the trapezoid behind the net. Sets it up. Nobody was there in between the circles, and so that'll clear back to Condi, who's forced to throw it right back in. Trojans will tag up. Goaltender wanted to get a whistle, but play continues on this breakout attempt now for Walton for the Wolves. Long headman pass across the line in onside, but it's stymied at the blue line as the Trojans now throw it ahead. One-touch pass now for Gabby Paff. At the line, she'll dump it in. The tail end of their shift and work it around the Dashers, now to the half-board's left wing side. Hacking away at it, finally makes it back to the point, as they're going to rule that one was offsides on the play, and so the Trojans will regroup at the blue line and force that one in. He shoots and scores! A little bit of a miscommunication there, but enough for the goal. As it looked like it was number 25, Will Barnes, that was the last one to touch that bouncing puck to get credit for the goal, cutting the Troy lead back down to 3. We're going to go with that, as we're going to say it was Barnes' goal unless we're corrected otherwise. But an excellent effort there by Gabby Paff as well to set that up, and a save made by Carver. Played around the Dashers. Held on by the Trojans as they'll work this one out, but given away, top of the circle. Playing it on the side of the cage as the net comes off the moorings. Stopping the clock now with 6:30 and counting here in the second period. Again, the Trojans breaking the scoring seal there with a very similar goal to what Worthington Kilborne's first goal was, a bouncing puck that somehow made it past the goaltender. And sometimes you need a little bit of puck luck to get things going, and I think that's one of those opportunities the Trojans have seen, as right from the draw. Played back into the corner, side of the cage. Battling for it down low. One-touch pass. Got a piece of Scalise. This one's going to be stretched all the way down, and a delayed penalty coming from way behind the play. As referee Russ Johnson has the roughing call against that hit as Jeans is in the box on that delayed hit on AJ Scalise that knocked him into next week. And so the Trojans will go back on the power play now with 5:23 and counting. Face-off a return to the Wolves' end. And quickly from the draw, Worthington Kilborne with a big head of steam before losing their edge, and a delayed penalty coming on this one as well, as it's touched up by Troy. That'll even things up here. Another obvious penalty, a tripping call. And so we're back to 4-on-4 hockey now with 4 minutes and 49 seconds to go here in the second period. And the faceoff comes all the way back inside the Trojans' end on the stick side of Noah Carver. And right from the draw, this one iced all the way down. Icing signaled, icing the call because it is even strength. And so a little bit of a misstep there by the Trojans, icing the puck. 4-on-4 hockey for another minute 2. 1:28 in counting on the penalty to the Trojans. And 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the second period. Kilborne with a shot. Pad save made by Carver. There's Lombardo. Sends that one out to neutral ice. Intercepted at the line. Big hit in front of the benches as they'll battle for it there and come back inside the Trojans' end. through traffic. Trojans flipped that one ahead, trying to get a headman on Smith. Wasn't much on it. And so there's a centering feed intercepted by Lombardo, but had his pocket picked at the last second. And that's run back to Todd for the Wolves. Chips that one in offsides. Worthington Kilborne will tag up at the line, but will not pressure, allowing Brady Smith to skate up unassisted. For this one picked up by the Wolves, 2-on-1 the other way in the making. There's a shot, picked the corner, and got a piece of the post. A close call right there as he had Carver beat. The Trojans now 2 wide at the line, a bouncing puck back into the near corner, picked up by Gavin Burris, who takes the hit, and play continues now on the near wing and out to center. Offsides is going to be the call. And a lucky break there for the Trojans to stop the clock with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. And the faceoff should return back to neutral ice as we return to full-strength hockey 5-on-5 as both penalties have expired. A good Sunday afternoon matinee as the Trojans trying to climb back from that 4-goal deficit. They've cut it to 3 as head coach Rick Szabo trying to get the right line combination on. Of course, the last time head coach Rick Szabo coached in this building, it was a win for the Southwest All-Star team back in 2007, as he was the honoree head coach in 2007 for the senior All-Star team as part of the championship weekend here at Nationwide. Trying to get back in the win column. His second game coached here at Nationwide. As the Trojans force that one back inside their own zone. Under pressure in front. And a wraparound goal. Carver was trying to get back. Didn't have a whole lot of defensive help on that one either. And just like that, the deficit right back to 4. Even strength goal. And in to take the faceoff for the Trojans now, Gavin Burris. Picked up by the Wolves, and that one touched with a hand pass. And so the Wolves see that, wisely make the correct play, and allow the Trojans to force that one ahead. Play continues. Under a minute to go here in the second period. As that one just inside Worthington Kilborne territory and around the Dashers. 2 wide across the Trojans line. They'll curl off out behind the net. Back to the point. Intercepted momentarily with a big hit. With the cheers from the bench. As Capicola played it around. Another wraparound attempt, this time stopped by Andrew Cotty, who chips it off the boards and all the way down into neutral ice. 19 seconds and counting here in period number 2. As this one up the near wing. Gandhi couldn't control. Given back up into the corner. Smith wraps it around the Dashers. Back on the half boards, left wing side. Picked up by Cotty. 1 touch at the line as the horn a blow. As 2 periods in the books from Nationwide Arena here in Columbus, Ohio. Let's go downstairs for a special segment right now. Welcome back to Nationwide Arena. JT Zappa rejoining you for your intermission, and I'm joined by 3 Trojans here. Very excited to be downstairs at Nationwide Arena tonight. Gabby Path, of course, alternate captain Cooper Sexton, and Eli Wenning, your freshman. Guys, what is it like being in this building today?
It's really cool. I'm really excited to be here and play with you guys.
I mean, it's nice in the whole heart. It's pretty tough.
Of course, this is the home of the National Hockey League's Columbus Blue Jackets, and not a lot of other programs in the athletic department at Troy High School get to play in a major league facility. So as far as the hockey program goes, what kind of a meaning does this have playing in this building? I'll open that to all three of you.
I mean, I guess it kind of shows. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not gonna say we're like
You're
better-
speechless. That's
I'm
what
not gonna
it
say
is.
we're better than every sport, but it gives us kind of like a royalty that
It's
most
more
other sports don't
connected.
get.
Yeah, no, of
There's
course.
more opportunities to play in different places and play against different people.
Right.
It shows that the hockey community is kind of like one, get to play.
Now, you guys all grew up watching games out of this building on TV. What is it like going onto the ice surface that you grew up watching?
Cool to see where the play where the players play.
Yeah, and it's cool to see the size difference and all the
Yeah.
differences on the benches and the locker rooms and the behind the scenes.
And behind the scenes, we saw a lot of it. Actually, just coming in, we got to see some of the Blue Jackets equipment being unloaded from the truck. So we're right here at the very top of hockey, essentially. Would you guys agree with that? Now, of course, coming in, it's an exhibition game against Worthington Kilborne. They're a very tough hockey team. What adjustments do you have to make on the big ice here in this building?
I think we're gonna need to have shorter shifts because the ice is bigger and it's more area to cover. And we need to stay wider and more spread apart so we cover more.
I mean, we just firmly need to get the pucks and deep shots on net.
Well, they're going to get ready, get set for this afternoon's game, and of course, thank you guys for joining us today. Any final words on this experience?
Pucks and deep shots.
Pass.
Net!
Welcome back to Nationwide Arena. JT Zabo rejoining you as we get right back into it here. Here in the third period from Nationwide Arena, the Trojans facing a deficit here in this exhibition game on the home ice of the NHL's Columbus Blue Jackets as part of this special invitation. I'd like to thank the Blue Jackets organization and the Worthington Kilborne High School hockey program for allowing the Trojans their first opportunity in program history to play on NHL ice. And they are taking full advantage of it here in this exhibition game against the Wolves. Already a 5-1 hockey game here in the third period, and again, both teams will stick around to watch the NHL game later this afternoon. And we do thank them for their hospitality as the Wolves get this one in. The Trojans' goaltending made a bit of a change here during that intermission as freshman netminder Bryson Staten now in between the pipes for the Trojans, getting his first taste at NHL ice. As this one chipped in by Smith, he'll work it back into the corner, centering pass intended for Francis Knott. Nobody was there. And so Francis not able to hold it in on the half boards. Right back for Smith, a shot. Save made. Rebound kicked around the Dashers. Now on the near wing side. Played back to the point. There's a shot right on. Bouncing puck out from behind the net. Scooped up by Carson Smith before it's turned back over by the Wolves, and out they come to center ice. Too wide across the Trojan line. Forcing in, and that one hit off the post as it had Stanton beat. And this one will be sent all the way down for an icing call with 12:24 to go here in this third period. A face-off resulting will come all the way back inside the Trojans' end as you get a good look at freshman netminder Bryson Stanton seeing action in between the pipes for the Trojans as the draw back inside the Trojans' end and won cleanly by the Wolves before it's picked up by Gabby Paff. We heard from her during the intermission, but that one knocked away at the last second as Paff picks up the puck and works it ahead out to neutral ice. Battling for it down low is Luke Harris. Harris against the Dashers, keeps it onside as it clears out to neutral ice. Still held on as Bauman for the Wolves is able to meander that one back inside the Worthington Kilborne zone. Gabby Paff with a backhand feed out through the slot. Nearly picked off, but they'll clear this one ahead. sidesteps the hit and gets it deep inside the Trojan zone. Centering feed, nobody was there. Couldn't pull the trigger in time, and so that one right back top of the circle and held in as the centering pass just wide of the net, hit off the side of the cage, and rebound. Back to Path. Hits it off the dashers and now into the corner. As this one stretches out to center ice and a big head of steam. It's Will Barnes a drive. Goes into the dashers. Sometimes you just forget that skates have brakes. And so the Wolves walk in. Free shot. Save made by Stenton. And a good smattering of applause here in Nationwide Arena breaks out as they'll battle for it down low, out of the corner. Still playing it out in front. Scooped up by the Trojans on this breakout attempt out to center ice. They'll force that one deep inside the zone off the high glass. And both clubs will finish their line change. Centering feed. Nearly got a piece of Gavin Burris, but his stick was lifted at the last second. And so the Wolves will carry this one ahead. Across the line, 3 wide. Shot, score. Nine minutes and 49 seconds to go here in this exhibition regulation between the Worthington Kilborne Wolves and the Troy Trojans. And despite the score, the Trojans certainly having an absolute ball out on the ice. Many of these players, as we heard during the intermission, are fulfilling lifelong fantasies of playing in this building. And certainly you could see the looks of amazement on a lot of the players' faces during that locker room tour this morning. And the appreciation of the highest levels of the game for certain as part of this event today. And so play continues inside the Trojans' end. Going back to get it and help out is Carson Smith. He's got Conti on his side before it comes out to the point, and a big bouncing puck works its way into the corner, turned aside by Stanton. Centering pass in the slot. Goaltender makes the save. And that's enough to stop the clock now with 8 minutes and 33 seconds to go. And the Trojans, despite what happened today, certainly an excellent team building opportunity. The Trojans will hop back on the bus here after this exhibition game and have an excellent team-building lunch opportunity before coming back for tonight's Columbus Blue Jackets game as special guests of the Blue Jackets. And we thank the Jackets organization for their support of varsity hockey here in Ohio. As Berghardt rubbing that one back into the corner, will force it back to the point. There's a shot turned aside at the last second, but held on at the line. And that one will make its way all the way back for the Wolves, stepping across the line. Shot went wide, back into the near corner. Picked up by Smith, 7 minutes and 27 seconds to go. And a rebound, he shoots and scores. Side of the cage. And just took one shot, and that beat Bryson Staten. 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go. A 7-1 Kilborne lead over the Trojans. And so the face-off at center ice again. Everybody's getting ice time today, which is ultimately what today's exhibition contest is about. An opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many of these student athletes to play on this ice surface. On both sides, both Worthington, Kilborne, and Troy, as they'll get it back, and the icing is waved off, played off the cage. Back out to neutral ice, it goes, sidesteps the hit, and a delayed penalty coming. And that one's going to go against Troy now with 6 minutes and 16 seconds to go. Cooper Sexton in the box. And it's going to be a tripping call as Abbott is down on the ice. Looked like it might have been a knee contact. 6 minutes and 6 seconds on the clock. As they do that, we will step aside from Nationwide Arena. And welcome back inside Nationwide Arena. JT Zabo Reed joining you. A 7-1 hockey game here in exhibition play from Nationwide Arena. We had a little bit of a timeout for an injured player from Worthington, Kilborne. He was taken into the tunnel to be examined by the athletic trainer. It looked to be a knee contact, and the penalty was assessed on that whistle. As Cooper Sexton was in the box. It's a 2-minute penalty as the faceoff controlled. Back at the point and held on. There's a shot right on, shoots and scored, a power play goal. 5:53 to go. And that will wash out the penalty to Sexton. And so fresh legs out for head coach Rick Zabo's hockey club. And right off the draw, this one hit off a dasher the other way. Played on the side of the cage, he shoots and scores. And just like that, a 9-1 hockey game here in exhibition play. And so just like that, Wolves will carry it out through center ice before it's picked up by Smith. There's a bouncing puck to Wenning. Works it back to the point. So shot right on, rink wide, now to the near side. Turned aside, down low, loose puck, side of the cage, tried to get a piece of it. As this one cleared out and ahead, off the half boards it goes, rink wide, bouncing puck to center ice. 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go. Offside's waved off as here come the Trojans the other way. Smith the shot. High off the high glass, just wide. Rebound held on at the point. Battling for it in front of the benches. Finally comes top of the circle for the Wolves. They'll send it rink wide back out to center ice. They wanted a penalty. They're not going to get one. As Biddle suffering at center ice, and finally the whistle blows as Ethan Biddle still out on the ice. Slow to get to his feet on that one. And so Ethan Biddle being attended to by the trainer as head coach Rick Zabo going out having a chat with the officials right there, not happy with the trip and the slash. And so they stopped the clock with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and this finishes the Trojans road trip that started yesterday at Alter, picking up the tough 3-2 loss. The Trojans back at home starting next weekend as they play host to 3 home games inside the historic Hobart Arena as part of the Trojan Invitational Tournament. As you see Biddle being taken off the ice under his own power to be looked at by the athletic trainer downstairs on the bench, provided by the Blue Jackets organization. Trojans against the Clay Eagles kicks off the Trojan Invitational on Saturday, December 17th at Hobart Arena, a 2 o'clock face-off before the Trojans and the Elder Panthers face off at 7 p.m. that night, concluding with a 12 p.m. noon game against the Mason Comets on December 18th. And for more information on those game times and ticket information, log on to trojanhockey.com. And so the Trojans control the puck momentarily before it's stripped back out to neutral ice. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and that's going to be an offsides call against the Wolves. The faceoff will come back out to neutral ice. And so with the faceoff in the neutral zone directly across from the Trojans bench, it'll be Burris to take the draw. Won by the Wolves inside the Trojans' end. Centering pass, hard angle off the short glass on the half boards, picked back up by the Wolves. They'll try this centering feed down low into the corner. Two minutes and 30 seconds and counting here in regulation in this exhibition game between the Troy Trojans and the Worthington Kilborne Wolves, as there's a shot and a score. That beats Stanton shoulder side for their 10th goal of the game. And so the freshman netminder certainly getting his fair share of work here in this exhibition workout, as he came in relief of Noah Carver, who started the hockey game. Again, head coach Rick Zabo making a point to ensure every single player gets playing time here in this special exhibition matchup on this home ice surface of the Columbus Blue Jackets, as the Jackets and the Kings in action on this surface later this afternoon. The Trojans and the Wolves will be special guests for that. Have a chance to watch that hockey game. It's part of this Rink of Dreams event that the Trojans and the Wolves participating in today, being able to play here at Nationwide Arena for the first time in Troy's program history, at least on the big surface. As here's Luke Harris out from behind the net, dishing for it with 1 minute and counting to go here in regulation. Back at the point, Berghardt couldn't control. Here come the Wolves the other way. Good back check by Miles Schumann, was able to knock that away at the last second. Before they'll pick that one up, and the bouncing puck makes it all the way back to the point. Glove down by Berghardt, and they'll send this one all the way down with 30 seconds to go as icing is signaled, and icing the call. And so the faceoff comes in, 20 seconds and counting now. This should be the last play. And this ought to put the bow on it. as the draw with 10 seconds to go. Off this high shot, saved by a little bit of fisticuffs there to end the hockey game. And surprisingly violent finish to this hockey game, which does not count in the official standings. Even during an exhibition game, tempers can flare. As the final score, 10-1, Kilborne with the win. And this opportunity for both of these clubs to play on the home ice of the NHL's Columbus Blue Jackets. And a good handful of applause here to finish this hockey game. And despite the score, one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities for both hockey teams to play inside this building, especially right before it hosts an NHL contest later this afternoon, as both teams having an opportunity to take one last look around the building from ice level, just as they had watched their role models and heroes do growing up here inside this building. And again, we want to thank the Columbus Blue Jackets organization as well as the Worthington Kilborne High School hockey program for allowing the Trojans the opportunity to participate in this Rink of Dreams event. And we'd like to thank you for tuning in for this very special Sunday afternoon exhibition matinee between the Worthington Kilborne Wolves and your Troy Trojans from the Nationwide Arena as the Stanley Steamer Zamboni comes in from the building Nash built. This is our special presentation of Troy, Ohio TV for our entire crew here inside Nationwide Arena. I'm JT Zabo. We'll be back next weekend as the Trojans host 3 games as part of the Trojan Invitational. Until then, this game will be available on demand on Facebook, YouTube, and at TroyOhio.tv. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Your Trojans fall in exhibition matchup inside the home of the Columbus Blue Jackets, 10-1.